Hello again, YouTube. Jake here with another Reading Too Much Into Things look at Jyuohgers and Kamen Rider Ghosts. Not much to say, so let's jump right in with Jyuohgers Episode 9, The Day That Wouldn't End. Yeah, I'm giving up on pronouncing the Japanese titles. I kind of suck at it. Unless you want me to continue saying the Japanese titles so that you can translate it and have something against me by using the TV Nihon translations of the titles. Our episode opens with... Hold up. I think... Okay, no, we're not at the end of the episode. They're just starting off with the giant fight. This rarely bodes well for the team. Why not? You already started off with an early victory. But it seems Sayla's not in the lunch mood. And that's for the best as they sense another attack from the foe they had just beaten. And so our episode opens with, whoa, that was weird. And I'm not the only one repeating himself, as the fight they just went through does as well, all the way to the finishing blow and their return home. Up in space, we, the viewers, have it revealed that the team are trapped in a repeating dream, while the player's actual goal is growing a giant evil onion from the looks of things. Kinda puts the piranha plants on notice, don't it? Back in the dream, Sayla hears something crying out in fear, but because of her hearing, is the only one to do so. However, before they can think further, they fight again. And so our episode opens with, really? Every time? Only Sayla, at this point, notices the repetition, Yamato and Anmu slowly feeling it as well. With some effort, Yamato tries to remember something that happened before they were caught up in the nightmare. Sayla feeling homesick and guilty about missing her parents' wedding anniversary, because of being trapped in the human world and all. Would have been nice to see this character development in previous episodes instead of shown just here. The whole point of this scene is, since everyone moves slightly while they're in this dream state, Yamato pricks his hand against Sayla's hologram brooch he had before the first attack, waking himself up. That is one hell of a "we'll never wake up again" pollen. He shakes the rest of the team awake, and, cause his nose is so strong, Tusk is still asleep. And while I get that they have to, I'd always assume gas or pollen attacks won't work when they have their helmets on. Just me, really. Gotta love how casually Leo passes out beyond his control. Yeah, back to calling him Leo. For now. And we get a hint of what crying Sayla heard during the dream deep underground. They find and engage the Deathgalion as the evil onion is about to bloom. When attacked by the pollen, this time Yamato uses his wings to blow it away, along with Sayla being able to create and shoot water. Cause sharks can totally do that. And, with a little effort, the other three destroy the flowers the pollens came from, preventing another attack from them, waking everyone else who was affected up. However, the evil onion awakens as well, catching the Jyuohgers. However, they are saved by what I assume is a rhino cube that was caught in the roots, which punches right through it. Oh wait, it's a mole. I just thought that the shot of the sleeping rhino beforehand was foreshadowing. You know, this Deathgalion keeps on making false claims of invincibility. They'll never wake up. It can only be destroyed if you destroy all the roots. Feels like there should be a third one. So yeah, they beat it up and obviously it grows giant. They go in with Jyuoh Wild and it defends against the rocket punch with a plant pot. So they call in the mole drill. Its finisher spins the mech around to improve its drilling power. It spins it right round, baby, right round. Like a record, baby. Right round, round, round. And so our episode ends, with everyone missing their folks and asking Yamato what his parents are like. Mario, recognizing the awkward moment, and likely knowing why Yamato doesn't want to share, sends him off for kimchi to distract everyone. And that was Jyuohgers episode 9. We got a bit more character fleshing out for Sayla, smaller bit for everyone else, a tease of a story arc for Yamato because Red Rangers have to have a more complex story, and a new toy for the mech. So let's move on to Kamen Rider Ghost. As you may recall, the Gamma World's evil plans are finally in motion for the world, with a Red Baron Ganma spraying a dark mist out into the air. The first step to making our world more like the Gamma's world. Which in turn has deeply affected Kanon, Daijob, and Javert to say the least. And still, Spectre needs rescuing in the Gamma world. And so, with 61 days left on Takeru's clock, let's jump in to episode 26, Conflicted, The Terms of Decision. Our episode opens with Akari giving a science explanation about the red sky. Enough science that I feel I should be double checking its information considering how fast and loose this show is with history points, but, well, I'm not going to. Instead, I will tip my hat to this week's Ganma, as it's themed after the brother of the Red Baron, which he had. Igor is approached by Javert, whose human body is still being affected by the red sky, to Igor's delight. Also affected, as we see in the next shot, is Daijob. On the street looking for sources of the red sky, Onari and Takeru get nowhere since there's two places it seems to spread from. Back in the Gamma world, tension is rising between the two remaining siblings.
今度は南の方角で出現情報が。いや違う、北の方角だって。東西南北進出鬼没。
Damn it all, that was actually funny. We cut back to Akari with Daijob being creepy before she asks him to tell him about the Gamma world. Also, the past few scenes they've been doing like 10-second scenes before jumping again, and it's as annoying as ever. We finally slow down with Edith admitting to having made the giant icon, but cut away to Daijob talking about his father's power, and as he's baffled by Akari asking who chose him to have such power, we learn back in the Gamma world that the icon was to act as a replacement for the prayer room, since it was being unresponsive. Edith says, however, that it was a failure as he notices the purple float stone being active. Back to Akari, she is showing how a character can be smarter than its writer by asking, if the Gamma world is perfect, why bother with our world? And despite Daijob towing the line of, well, you're imperfect, Akari sees his self-doubt and is amazed when he actually gets mad. Back on the street, the gang is having zero luck, but some vapor trails grab Takeru's attention. And it's times like these where I'm glad the US doesn't get these shows non-adapted, because Takeru looking up and seeing vapor trails that only he can see will cause no more than 3 conspiracy theories in the US. Tell me I'm wrong! The first one to find Igor is Daijob, who demands the sky be changed back. He engages Igor, who counters with the Lewis Carroll Ganma icon, which is too much for Daijob's weakened state. And because Igor is so perfect and smart, he chooses to tease out killing Daijob instead of, killing him outright. This allows Daijob's feelings to finally reach the grim icon, now willing to help. The Brothers Grimm versus Lewis Carroll. Or at least just Alice in Wonderland. Wow, this show's good at giving me a headache. Though, despite having the icon's power, he still has trouble when the Red Baron's brother Ganma joins in. But Takaru arrives shortly to help, causing the two to retreat. Back at the temple, we get a tiny scene with Sage, about to help Akari before she solves the connection to the monolith herself. Back to the Ganma world, and Arya snooping, finally hearing Papa Ganma's chanting. And back to the temple, Akari slaps a small pad onto Kanon's wrist, which seems to help her. And she asks that Akari give one to Daijab as well, since she's the only one to have noticed him weakening. Speaking of, Daijab is back at the takoyaki stall and shares with the owner how he thought the blue sky was pretty when he first came here. He explains how he never told anyone that until he told his father, who told him to follow his heart if he ever felt lost. That he never doubted how perfect his world was, so that made no sense to him. All the while, watched by Akari as the stall owner gives her old stall owner sagely advice. When Daijab starts to collapse, Akari runs in and gives him the antidote she made, and leaves. Akari heads to the central hospital of the town and tells Takaru to meet her there, as she equips what I can only assume is more antidote to her glitter sprayer. On the way, Takaru sees, somehow, that she's about to be attacked, and finally activates Houdini, engaging the Ganma in the air. This allows Akari to shoot her one shot of antidote, which cures the whole sky. What? Haven't you seen Cabaneri? Once you stop the infection from spreading, it instantly returns to normal. Though it's too soon to celebrate, as the Red Baron Ganma returns and shoots at Akari, knocking her off the building while Takaru is fighting. She is caught, however, by Daijab and his pentacles. And so, as a team, Daijab and Takaru take out the Ganma brothers with a double rider kick. After Daijab switches to his Necrom form, and Takaru to his Grateful form. Why? Back in the Ganma world, Arya finds Papa, but is told, cryptically, simply to take care of Two Feathers. And so our episode ends with Daijab accepting his doubt, and Akari trusting him. He receives a message on his device from Arya that Papa Ganma is alive, and Daijab and Takaru head off, seen off by everyone at the temple, to save Spectre. But just what strange being awaits them from the Prayer Stone? And that was episode 26 of Kamen Rider Ghost. This show is still stupid. Granted, this and the last episode aren't what makes the show stupid, but they have a lot of what, throughout, shapes the show into being stupid. Especially the annoying, quick cuts between one scene and another before we can actually get established in any of them. Granted, they tried to tighten that up by having it be cut between similar actions, like we see between Arya running to a cut of Akari running, but it's still frustrating. Also, for anyone worried about Toby, don't worry, he's still my intern and he will still do his little reviews, but I'm keeping him on for the more fillery episodes, and from the looks of the next episode previews, we're not going to be getting that on either Jyuohgers or Ghost for the next couple of episodes at least. Thank you again for sitting through another Reading Too Much Into Things review. I'm Jake, and as always, stay safe.